Do not judge others, and you will not be judged, for you will be treated as you treat others. The standard you use in judging is the standard by which you will be judged. Matthew 7, verses 1 and 2, New Living Translation. Today I want to share a parable with you that I first read in an email many years ago. I don't know who wrote it originally, and when I did a search online, you can find a number of various versions of this same story online. But I thought you'd be blessed as I have been through the years. His name was Tom. He wore jeans and a t-shirt with holes in them. Most of the time he went barefoot. Sometimes he wore sandals or flip-flops. Tom was brilliant. He was kind of odd in his perspective and worldview, but he was very, very bright. Tom became a Christian during his junior year in high school. And right across the street from his high school was a very respectable and large church. It was modern, it was conservative, and it tried hard to plan activities and outreaches to the young people of the high school and the community. One weekend, Tom decided that he would visit church. He walked in with no shoes, his jeans, his holy t-shirt, and his wild hair. The service had just started, and Tom slowly started down the aisle looking for a seat as he went. But the church was pretty full, and Tom didn't want to invade anyone's privacy, so he just quietly kept walking further and further toward the front. As he was making his way up the aisle, people were looking quite uncomfortable, but no one moved and no one motioned for him to join them. Finally, Tom reached the front without having found a seat, and just sat down on the floor in front of the front row. By now, no one was listening to what the pastor was saying. Why, this just didn't fit in their church. Everyone was uncomfortable, but no one knew what to do. Then one of the deacons, who had been sitting toward the back of the auditorium, got up from his seat and began making his way toward the front. He was a godly man, an old man, very dignified, very respected, wearing a suit and a tie. He walked slowly with his cane. His silver hair was neatly combed. He had his Bible under his arm. Everyone fidgeted, somewhat in embarrassment, but they really couldn't blame the old man for what he was about to do. I mean, how could you expect a man of his age to understand the feelings of a barefoot teenage kid who had just walked in and sat on the carpet? The deacon couldn't walk very fast anymore, but as he finally neared the front where Tom was seated, the church was completely silent. Everyone almost holding their breath, listening carefully to catch whatever words the old deacon might say to Tom. They sort of admired the old deacon for having the courage to do what all of them knew needed to be done, but none of them had wanted to do. Now the old deacon finally reaches the last row of seats. He turns, hobbles toward where Tom is seated. Everyone's listening, wanting to catch the slightest whisper of what might be said and done, but there were no words. Instead, the old deacon knelt slowly and painfully, laid his cane and his Bible on the floor, and then sat down beside Tom so that he wouldn't be alone. When he finally got himself settled, the old deacon reached over and shook Tom's hand and whispered, "Welcome. I'm glad you're here." Everyone was choked up with emotion now, and when the pastor was finally able to speak again, he said simply, "What I'm about to preach you will never remember. but what you've just seen, you will never forget. Oh Lord, we are like Tom. We're such a mess. We don't fit in your beautiful creation. But you loved us enough to leave the joy and beauty of heaven and come down to sit beside us here on earth. May we show our thanks by doing the same for those around us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.